Senor Tilt, I know you're trying to make people love you. I know you're trying to buy people's affection. I know that you're trying to bot your way into relevance, but I'm with you. I think you should continue to be the antagonist.
Mario doesn't have money like that. I don't know, that's always the same people winning that fucking suck, a 7 fucking high, that fucking suck. Nonsense. 7 fucking high.
I think you're too dislikable to be the protagonist.
I don't understand.
Beyond fucking criminal. How'd you fucking smoked?
I've never been at a game that called the floor in 20 years.
But let's look at you from a poker perspective. How good is he really? I'm deadly sorry for leaving you. I only have myself to blame. I bought all of this fancy equipment. I finally, after 7 years of content creation, got myself a webcam that is better than a potato.
7 fucking high.
And then I just go up and ditch you. I will give you a brief insight into my personal life. As many of you know, if you follow my Instagram, I've been largely single for the last 2.5 years, bar a couple of stints here and there. And I'm actually with someone now. And I can tell you that having a healthy relationship for the first time, probably in my life, maybe bar a couple here and there. Your boy Charlie's happier than he has been in a long time. In fact, here's my girlfriend. I have a girlfriend. We have the in-joke on this channel about there always being an attractive Asian on streams and that they have to kind of fill a quota for something that literally always is. Guess what I did? Alright. Senor Tilt is known to be one of poker's greatest antagonists. And by greatest, I mean, he's fine. He's okay. People tend to not really like him. The issue with antagonists is that it's generally good to have, a lot of people that love him and a lot of people that hate him. Or at least, a lot of people that love to hate him. Senor Tilt seems to have the latter of those categories. He hasn't so much got a fan base as of yet. And in this video, we are going to be discovering, is he really the high-stakes phenomenon that he likes to paint himself as, or is he not? Couldn't think of something better there. I do these in one take, by the way. Here we're about to find out the truth of how good is he really. And I'm also going to be telling you the story about Senor Tilt, which really pushed me over the edge of genuinely disliking the fella. It takes a lot for me to actually dislike people. There's a few people in the poker world that I think are actually trash human beings. We got Doug is pretty trash as people go, and his editor, pretty trash. We got Robbie J. Lou, pretty awful. We got that guy that scammed by looking at his phone all the time. Somebody remind me his name. We got some pretty awful people out there, but I was pretty hell-bent on liking Senor Tilt. But I'll tell you the story in a bit. I've been told that this hand, somebody sent it to me and gave me a timestamp, that this hand is the one that I need to be watching. Other than that, what I've been doing, I genuinely, for the first time in this series, had to write in the YouTube bar, Senor Tilt wins at poker, because every single video was him losing. I think mostly because people like to watch him lose, not because he's always losing. Been told this one is legit. So here we go. You're watching me watch this for the first time in the series of The Truth.
Madden's got the goods. Senor 2 9s. We're going north. 3-bet up to 8K.
I do appreciate the old school commentary. We're going north. So the plan, I'm going to call it 501K. Don't know if true. Could be significantly smaller, but let's say he opens 3K, so it doesn't particularly matter. 3-betting to 8K with 9s. Wouldn't advise doing this, by the way. If you're new to the channel, you wouldn't have heard me say this, but 3-betting these types of hands, in Solverland, it's okay. When you're a human, it's so hard because when your opponent calls, every flop apart from a flop with a 9 on it is difficult to play. 10 high flops, jack high flops, even low boards are pretty difficult to play because your opponent puts you on aces and kings quite often, so it's hard to get tons of value. I wouldn't recommend doing it. Just call these hands, take a flop, try and hit a set, try and stack somebody.
Oh, and Brown also with ace-king. May we see level 4-bet. What does Brown want to do?
I have no idea how this is going to turn into I'm trying to, my brain usually can figure it out, how this is going to turn into a thing.
Call also an option. We know fold is not one of those options.
Coco?
There is a 4-bet.
Okay. If you're mad in here, it's kind of disgusting. I would tend towards folding. Unless the guy 4-betting is kind of nutterbutters, I'd lean towards folding here with as mad as ace king.
Interesting spot for Madden.
Oh, I just looked at the 4-bet sizing. That's aces all day. He doesn't have aces, but I think he's got aces. I'm so Pavlovianly trained, Google it if you don't know what I mean, to believe that when an older gentleman 4-bets small, they have aces. I can see that the guy has ace-king, and I'm like, no, don't lie to me again. I've been bitten too many times.
You could 5-bet, live with it. You could cold call. There's even a world where you could bow out in certain climates. He goes for the cold call.
That's going to
Oh, okay, this had sense, so cool.
Senor right in with those 2 9s.
Kind of a dream spot for Tilt closing the action.
He's loving life. He's thinking Neener.
All right, clock. Come on.
Hold on now.
All right. I mean, he's somehow got the fantastic read that he's got 9s versus ace-king and ace-king, which is the absolute dream situation. I don't know how big the 5-bet was.
I fold.
I didn't.
I mean, it's terrible. Like, it couldn't be worse. You're so lucky to be up against ace-king and ace-king. The guy that cold called could genuinely only have a range of, like, jacks and queens. Like, that could literally be his range, his entire range. He might even fold ace-king suited sometimes. The fact that he's got ace-king is lucky. And the other guy should have aces. He's just cold 4-bet small, out the small blind. He's got aces and kings. Like, he doesn't. But trust me, he does. And you could just call in position. This is one of the worst plays I've ever seen.
75,000. And Brown says, I'm out. What about the Cowboy?
I would think the Cowboy runs it.
Yeah, he says, I don't believe you.
Here
All right,
we go.
guys.
I skipped forward to see the run out and he's still tanking. What's going on?
How much? It plays 3
A
hands.
little less than 200, probably like 180.
But you're the effective, unless they got the stacks wrong. He's got like 140k, let's call it. What's going on?
We have to call at this point.
Yeah, I don't. How do you put in the 5-bet?
Even against a range of jacks plus ace-king, we're just priced
Only
in.
one of you.
What is just additional?
You're more than priced against jacks plus ace king. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, just even if you only have ace king suited in there and then jacks plus, I think you're already priced in. I genuinely thought that the play that the person was showing me was the 5-bet itself, because it's like such a perfect and easy spot to just call. What is going on with him? Does he fold?
I guess no.
Nah, he can't
Just
actually
put out
fold.
Boy, if Nick Wright's watching, he's loving this show.
Kid played a bunch.
What's that? Oh, this is
75. Put the
this
75.
okay.
Yeah.
Is
This
it
is
good?
75.
Yeah, the 75. I just want to know how much extra.
Solid.
$40, $85, $90, $94 additional.
94 additional.
82, 82, 82.
82 what?
Additional.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God, indeed. What just happened? I feel like this is worse than people will think it is as well. Like, this obviously looks bad, and the commentator knows this is bad, but like, let's actually think about what Madden's range is here. When he cold calls the 4-bet after opening pre, for Senor Tilt to 5-bet, he has to put him on something like ace, king, or 8s. Let's say. Like, he has to think his range is like pretty defined towards like ace king for him to even put the 5-bet in the first place. And then when he goes all in for the extra $62,500, he's now suddenly only putting him on what, like queens? But if you put him on that, why do you 5-bet? It's like the complete opposite of what you should be doing. And obviously, you're just priced in anyway to any kind of reasonable range, but like, for so many reasons, this is so bad. This might be the worst hand that I've seen played on this entire channel. This might be like worse than Wolfgang. Sorry, Wolfgang, for the strays. I love you, dude. Worse than Wolfgang. I really like Wolfgang, by the way. He's a cool guy. Okay, I hate saying things like this, but you gotta be honest, he's really bad at poker. This is worse than Rampage. This is worse than Rampage played those 9s. Is there like an in-joke that the rest of us are missing that like Rampage and Senor Tilt are in on? They're part of like the in club, you know? It's like part of like the niche community of like everybody is just like, they got a side bet of like $10 million. Who can play pocket 9s the worst? Because Rampage and Senor Tilt, I mean, it's like the Cold War. It's like, who's going to reach nuclear power first? And I believe that makes Senor Tilt the Americans. I believe that he just reached the nuclear power of the worst possible way to play 9s. That is special. I mean, what does my scale go from? Does it go from 1 or does it go from 0? I don't think it can be a 0 because he looked at his cards. So it can't be a literal 0. A 0 would have to be like putting 99.9% of your stack and then just have a heart attack on the felt. So he didn't do that. I'll give it a 0.3. 0.5 maybe. 0.5, yeah, 0.3, 0.3. All right, we're really getting down in the weeds there. That's something special. By the way, I'm hosting loads of high-stakes private games, and I'm giving 50k opportunity for you guys to play for free in these private games. If you feel like you want to be doing that, all you have to do is to get some of the seats at least. There's 10 seats going for 5k each. You get to keep half the profits. All you have to do is play one hand of poker. But links in the description, and you'll see the rest of the details. It's my favorite promotion I've ever done, so I hope you enjoy the free money. Just a little update. Coin has been a little bit, they've hired 3 billion influencers, so that's fine. But so they're being a little bit slow with helping me get this thing set up. It's coming. You can still have a chance to win some of the seats. Still a very, very beautiful and high EV promotion. Check it out. Link in the description. All right, so we're on the button with Queen 8 offsuit. It's raised under the gun. Call the button. All right, don't do that. Don't ever do that. Even in the squid game. Maybe if you're like heads up for the squids or the nit game, if you want to call it that. Other than that, don't do it. So far, so good. Nick Abel, by the way, giving away a huge timing towel here by snap calling the flop. If you're new to the channel, you won't know this, but SCMSDV, snap call marginal showdown value. If he had a combo draw, he might consider raising it. If he had a set or 2 pair, he might consider raising it. So when he snap calls, it's so often just a 1 pair hand, and it's so often just an ace. If I'm Senor Tilt here, I'm putting him literally only on like ace king, ace jack, ace 10, ace 9. Because I feel like even ace 7 and stuff like that might just take a little bit longer, might not see bet so big into 3 people. I mean, every now and again is going to have some flush draw that's played it like this as well with the snap call, but it really defines this range. Timing tell is one of the most important things. So the 7, I would think, is generally going to be very clean. Also, he's probably not going to be opening a 7 offsuit from under the gun. So he's going to have like 12 combos of ace king, 12 combos of ace jack, 12 combos of ace 10. If he has a 7 in the first place, which he might not, there's only 2 combos of that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. Grok it. I don't like GPT these days, but grok it.
Woods top pair. Earlier this week,
20k is actually a very good sizing. So far, apart from pre-flop being awful, this is a good hand from Senor Tilt.
backdoor flush on both boards. See if Airball can get similarly lucky on the river. No, 2 pair is good for Senor Tilt.
So you always have to be thinking like Airball is going to be putting us on a range. How likely is it that he thinks that we're going to be bluffing here? You know, we could have Jack 10. We could have some diamonds. It's not so easy to have bluffs, but it's also not easy to have value hands because we're not going to have aces, queens, or ace queen. So it's really only ace 8, queen 8, which he would only expect us to have suited probably, and pocket 8s, which we might 3-bet sometimes given what we just saw from the 9s. We might even 5-bet it and fold it.
So draws have bricked. So Senor Tilt, as he frequently does.
Damn, son. It's generally very good to go big with your value hands. I don't mind this at all. It might even be very good, especially against somebody like Airball.
Overbet. Not.
Yeah, it's not really like the hardest hand to play. Whether Airball calls or not, doesn't matter. I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely better than the first hand I watched. But it's not something that takes finesse or anything like that. And then the pre-flop was atrocious. So. By the way, allegedly, Senor Tilt uses bots on his Instagram to get followers and likes and comments and stuff like that. I'm just saying, I saw it. I think that stuff is scummy and weird and not cool. That wasn't the story that I'm going to tell. I'll tell the story after this hand, actually.
Obvious value because he just called an open pre-flop. Aces and queens are not in there. Ace queen is not in there either. Airball is curious here and calls it off.
So blame Airball for it. I mean, people tend to underbluff these kind of situations pretty heftily, but whatever.
Still
we got a good pre-flop hand. Like that. I like that.
Call from Senor Tilt who flops top pair.
Okay, cool. If you're Gaston here, you probably want to go for like essentially a size that a 10 will fold, which is probably like definitely a 10 will fold to something like pot, like, you know, 47k. You hate to get shoved on. Like it is so atrocious to get shoved on. You kind of have to call off because you might be dominating some lower flush draws. But yeah, like 7, 8 of diamonds, something like that. I would probably go for something like 48k. Assume he's going to fold a 9, he's going to fold a 10, he's going to fold straight draws, whatever.
And it's a chunky one.
Whoever's doing the bet sizes on the stream today took a few too many edible gummies before they started.
37,000, not quite pot.
So far, so good from everybody.
Senor Tilt And a queen for Gaston. I guess he could beat some hands.
Beat a bunch of hands. He beat 10x of diamonds, 9x of diamonds. He might have queen jack because he's Senor Tilt. He might have a sticky king 10 for some reason.
At this point, maybe Senor Tilt got stubborn with a 10 or something. And a queen could be...
Yeah, good hand from everybody. I mean, it's a 10 from everybody. Shout out to that hand being very simple to play. Okay. Let me tell you my story about why I now no longer can even pretend to like Senor Tilt. So, your boy Charlie. I went to Cyprus relatively recently, and I met up with this lovely fella called JRB. JRB, fantastic human being. First time I met him, he called me up being like, hey, I liked your YouTube. We should meet. And I was like, hey, I like your existence. We should meet. And so we go for dinner, and he invites me to his poker game to play in it. Now, I didn't want to play in his poker game because generally when people invite me, it's like, I have to either play really bad and make it a fair, fun fight, or I kind of ruin the experience because there's no pros in these games. Like, I'm just too good for these games. And I didn't want to make that kind of like first impression of sharking, and also I didn't want to just punt a bunch of money in a high stakes thing for no reason. So I was like, hey, I'm just gonna sit and watch. I want to see how you run games. I've run games. I want to see how you do it. So I'm sitting and talking. I'm getting on with everybody, having a good time, drinking some wine. You know how it is. That's how work is these days, huh? And Senor Tilt's name comes up. I think somebody was like, oh, I watched the video you did on him accusing Mariano or something like that. And I was like, oh, what do you guys think of him? What did you think of the video? Did you like it? And a bunch of people in the game loved my videos. But they had their own Senor Tilt stories. And there was a guy next to me, I'm not going to say his name, really nice guy. And he tells me the story of when Senor Tilt had played in JRB's game. So I'm going to be Senor Tilt in this. And you're going to be you there if you can play the role of a person who's a finance guy, very wealthy in a private game that's playing like 50, 100, 100, 200 or something like that. But it plays big, you know. All right, I'm Senor Tilt. Sorry for the voice. I really apologize in advance, but this is my best impression. I'm not so good at impressions.
Hey guys, I thought this was meant to be like a high stakes game, and I thought there was meant to be like no pros. This guy looks like he has no money. Why is he even sitting here?
And at this point, I stopped the story. You're doing great, by the way. Action role playing is I can tell this isn't your first time. I stopped the story here and I'm like, okay, he has to be joking, right? And he pointed at the guy sitting there, finance guy, and be like, he obviously doesn't have any money. And I was like, he has to be joking. Now, everyone was like, no, he 100% was being serious. The story continues. Please carry on as you were.
Well, I mean, just saying, like, he's dressing how he is. He obviously doesn't have much money. I mean, this is meant to be something for non-professionals and people with lots of money. But the way he's dressing, I can just tell that he doesn't have any money.
10 out of 10 impression. You can give me a 10 out of 10 for that. And he's being serious. Like, he sat down at a table, pointed at a guy who's like quite a quiet guy, by the way, and goes, this guy, from the way that he's dressing, he doesn't have any money. By the way, this guy is wealthier than 99.9% of the population of Earth. He just happens to not dress in the same way as, I guess he happens to not dress in a cap and a white t-shirt and anyway. I guess we don't always dress like we got money either, Senor Tilt, which is fine. Like, I love it when people dress down. It's good to be able to have a more humble side. You don't always have to be flashy. You don't always have to be whatever. So he does that, and he's not joking, and he's like genuinely really, really rude to people. And then as the night continues, more and more people start telling stories and start hearing things from him. At some point, Senor Tilt starts taking money out of the pot that he's lost. And people are like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm the VIP here. I'm not going to be paying rake. And so they have to call down Rob Young, or they call him or something like that Rob Young. And everyone's just like, what is this guy doing? And he's being rude to people. He's like slowing the game down. He's being rude to people. He's trash talking people. He's just being an absolute a-hole, according to the story of like a few people on the table telling this story. And what I heard is that he was sucking up to Rob Young. And Rob is like, if you don't know who Rob is, he's like a very big name in the poker community. He owns Dust Till Dawn. He owns Onyx Club in Cyprus. He's basically got this like big roster of VIPs, maybe the biggest in the poker community of like VIPs that he knows that play in his games, that come to his things and whatever. And so he's like sucking up to Rob Young, being like, oh, I think you're a fantastic guy, really good at poker, whatever it is, that was ad-libbing. I don't know if you could tell. But then to people that he sees as kind of below him, he doesn't have that same energy. And this is one of the things that really irks me, is that I like to see people as equal, you know? Like, I like to see a person that's sitting on the street homeless, and I like to see a king or a queen as, like, you know, we're all one. Under the face of God, you know? Like, we're all God's children. You know what I'm saying?
82, 82, 82.
And when people start creating these mental hierarchies of like this person's good and this person's bad purely based on them, on how much money they have or how much they can give to that person in that moment, I think it's one of the worst qualities a human being can have. And to like bully people for the way that they dress in general, I think is insane. But to do it at a high stakes poker game is, I would kick him out. I'd literally be like, are you joking? And if he said no, I'd be like, leave my premises right now. I have literally no patience for this kind of behavior. It's so scummy and it's so disgusting. I really, even after he tried to call me out on Twitter, and you should watch that video as well, it's so funny that I made on it. It's such a funny punt from him. I was still trying to support the guy, but when I heard this, I was like, this is just next level. So anyway, the guy buys, allegedly, probably don't even say allegedly, but allegedly buys Instagram bots. I can prove that. He also has a YouTube channel. Should we go look at this YouTube channel together? Oh, yo! Okay, so he had a YouTube channel that he was putting in infinite money to each video. I watched a few of the videos. It's literally like 2 minutes of poker, and then the rest of it is like him being behind a computer, being like, well, with my company, we're really changing the game of how people are doing online but it's actually easier to do it like this.
How people are doing online betting. Well, you should look at me and give a 5-minute inspirational speech to my friends about why it's so cool to be me.
Fine. I've made YouTube content in the past that's had a hit and a miss that people haven't been into. Like, I get it. I just feel like, oh, apparently he was also recently going after Alan Keating. I haven't looked at it too closely, but apparently he was also trying to insult Alan Keating, which is, he's like, here's my theory. And you guys can rate this theory out of 10. My theory for Senor Tilt is that he compares himself to Alan a lot, because they're in some ways similar. Like, they're both kind of like, you know, meant to be bigger names in the high stakes communities. They're both playing high stakes in the same games. They're both meant to be like this cool, like, gambler thing. Alan Keating releases his YouTube videos and everybody wants to watch it, and it gets 400k views, 500k views, like literally, and it's some of the best content you could possibly, and it's similar kind of stuff, it's similar titles and things like that. And then Senor Tilt does it and he gets like 1,000 views. I have a feeling that that was really bugging him, amongst other things. Like, the whole poker community loves Alan because he's genuinely very classy and kind to people and wants the game poker to grow, and doesn't try and like steal, doesn't angle shoot people, by the way, if you haven't seen that video. Doesn't accuse people of cheating because they lose at a poker hand, by the way, if you haven't seen that video as well. I think that comparison side by side really irked Senor Tilt, and that's my theory anyway. You can do with it as you wish. You rate it out of 10. But let's get back to the poker. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't realize this is an Alan Keating versus Senor Tilt hand.
Watch the limps around to Senor Tilt, who's going to bump it way up.
23,000.
It's actually a pretty good play.
23K. Keating's going to get in there.
Keating, this is not a very good play. I've talked to Keating one-on-one before. I'm like, dude, I love that you do it, but just so you know.
There.
He's not like overall like master. Like, Keating isn't the kind of guy to be like, I'm a mastermind, I'm gonna advertise on TV to make. This is how he plays, and he's not like, this is minus EV, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's like, no, he just wants to see a flop with 2 suited cards. I love the guy for it. He is who he is.
And this is a
Another
decent
2 in the
spot for
bucket.
Turbo calls.
Turbo yelling F it when he's got by far the best hand. Classic Turbo. Oh, I should do a video on Turbo, by the way. I love this guy. Senor Tilt would be likable if he were funny. Turbo's really funny, so it's like, he could pretty much murder 20,000 people and everyone would be like, I mean, we can kind of forgive him. That's a joke, by the way. If you're funny, you can get away. Like, Doug gets away with so much awful stuff because he's like a genuinely really funny person. If I were Senor Tilt right now, and some advice to him if he watches this, invest in like some improv comedy classes or stand-up comedy classes, or just like try and become funnier, because it's so hard to hate a funny guy.
72 grand already in the middle.
Senor Tilt should be checking this, by the way. If there's any hand that you should be checking with showdown value, it's going to be Queen Jack.
No, for the 10.
Playing well.
Beautiful spot developing for Keating because he looks desperate to win a marker.
Oh, okay. Then he might be heads up in the Squid Game, in which case it's still probably not a call, unless no, it's not heads up with Senor Tilt, so it's probably still not a call, but still, it explains a little bit more.
35,000.
To end this round of the progressive stand-up game.
So this is just going to be check, call, flop, yeah.
Middle.
80,000's pretty good sizing. I would probably lean to go a little bit bigger here because it looks like Senor Tilt has a jack pretty often, or aces and kings and queens relatively often sometimes, and sometimes ace king ace queen. You don't worry about the ace king ace queen, and you just go for max value versus the two pair hands. And with Keating's image, so you go 90,000. Yeah, it's still too small. With Keating's image, I think you can probably go like 120 here. Just a general thing. If you have like a crazy image, use it and go big. Don't worry about people potentially folding. Just use your crazy image. Do the Tony G and just like go absolute max value. That was a very niche reference, the Tony G thing, but shout out to the big game back in the days. What else have I missed in the poker world, by the way? I know I've been out for a while. I saw the Garrett tweet. That's basically it. Do you guys think Robbie cheated? Well, I mean, either you think that she cheated or you're absolutely retarded. Allegedly. Woo! 375. Okay, all right. I forgive you for the turn sizing there, my friend. That is a beautiful sizing. And Senor Tilt, I guess, is going to be calling. Let's find out.
And this will be a 7-figure pot.
You guys have definitely seen this hand, so let's just skip it.
Give me a couple minutes.
Not going to give you a couple minutes. I'm really excited to see his reaction. It's the marker of a fantastic poker player. As 2.5 minutes into your tank, you're like, can you spread the pot? I don't know how much is in there.
82, 82, 82.
That's so funny. He's trying to market himself. This is one of the things that really irks me about him as well. It's funny. He tries to market himself as like this very like high level, intelligent poker player that's really figuring out the game on a high level. And he doesn't know how much is in the pot. Like, you have to know what percentage of the pot Alan is betting. Like, you have to know that. That has to be like an instant thing. Otherwise, what are you thinking about? You don't know his range. You don't know what he's representing. It's nuts about this. By the way, shoving here with Queen Jack, maybe not against Alan, but against somebody else would be really, really sexy. Because Keating's going to have like a 10 basically always, or a bluff, and then just like representing pocket jacks or something along those lines would be really, really sexy. Not against Alan. Alan's gonna be like, oh, I've got trips, what am I gonna do?
The clock, push him in one direction or the other, and he makes
he makes the fold. Oh, congratulations to Senor Tilt for making. He played the hand genuinely very well. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for how he played it.
Keating disappointed.
Wow, big fold. Great job, Tiki.
That's actually a good reaction. Like, I like this reaction out of Senor Tilt.
Overpair. Wow. No. Sam, overpair, huh?
Oh, 18K might actually be a cool pre-flop 10 deuce. It's a big squid game. I forgot about that.
For a couple hours, we've seen
damn
one very good fold against Alan Keating from Senor Tilt. That's a bunch of different players on the table at this point.
Ooh, check call from Alan. Very interesting, yeah. So Alan check calling here. The only good thing that you can do here is check on the river. If he's betting here, it would be really, really bad. If he's checking here, then the check call on the flop can make some sense. And the reason for that, as I move my face out of the way, the reason for that is that you need to be maximizing value against the king. Let's say Senor Tilt has pocket aces, ace king, king queen, king jack. He's not going to be raising against a bet on the river. He's just going to be calling. So you've lost loads of value by not check raising the flop, betting turn, betting river. But there is a hypothesis that could be true, which is like you can get more money by check calling flop, check calling turn, or check raising river, or check calling check check turn, check raising river. If you go bet river here, it's truly atrocious.
Check on the turn.
Okay. Okay. All right. Alan's thinking on a good level.
All balls, no brains, turbo.
Love this check here by Keating. Mandatory value bet, Senor Tilt.
That's the play.
He is not going to like what happens after that.
Yeah, it's actually a really annoying spot for Senor Tilt, by the way, because he has to bet this.
It's on my stuff.
The thing about Alan is that he likes his bluffs to make some sense. I don't think he would ever bluff this spot because he's not really repping anything. People hate to rep things when they would have had to slow play to get there. You know, people hate to bluff in a way that doesn't tell like a consistent story, which is one of the biggest tells and leaks that people have. When they play a tricky hand like this and they're like good enough to be aware that it's tricky, it tends to always be value. And I do feel like Alan's going to be falling into that category almost always, which vast majority of good poker players do.
And against you. This guy's gonna outplay me anyways. He's getting
30,000, and there's the raise.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I just thought of it because good poker players. There's a guy called Owen Messer, called Prodigy Online. One of the best players that's ever existed. He owes me money, essentially stole money from me, and refuses to go through arbitration. says like, I don't want to go through arbitration with you in case you lie. I was like, well, that would come up in arbitration, idiot. And that guy. I've had literally dozens of people steal money from me, and I've decided that it's a new Charlie. I'm just going to blast people online. I've got like a laundry list of people to blast online. And this guy, Omase, he was a friend of mine. He's a genuine sociopath, like an actual compulsive liar, and tried to like use my contact list to run games behind my back and a bunch of other really, really dirty stuff. Hashtag that guy, and I'm going to keep calling him out until he goes through arbitration. That's angry Charlie for the first time you've seen me in a long time. So 30 to 175. I genuinely think this could be a 10 out of 10 hand from Keating. He might have got more money if he check raised flop, but he might not have. He might have just got a fold on the turn. You never know.
Not too long ago. Does he have another one?
That's the thing, right? Making one big fold is one thing, but making two in quick succession against the same guy who is big action, not easy to do.
He didn't know it was that sweet.
Yeah.
I can't live off.
Love this sizing here.
Tell the one to get us a plain one. They have plain ones.
I thought he was going to go for the angle again. You guys have, if you haven't seen him angle, quote unquote, his friend, you have to watch that video. He still claims it wasn't an angle. It was like it was an angle.
Knows that Alan Keating knows that Senor Tilt just made a big fold against him. Now has to wonder if Keating is just going after him. And yeah, a big sizing, which I think seems very good for the situation.
Called on the king 5-5 flop, no flush draw available.
Yeah, the thing about this is like, what are Alan's bluffs going to be? And it's literally going to have to be like a king or like pocket fours, you know, like something crazy that he's called the flop with and turned into a bluff, or a king. Most likely hand for him to have here is a king or a 5 when the flop's king 5-5. So it's very, very hard to find like a reasonable bluff. And all of the hands that he would have had would have to have showdown value because they would have had to check the river instead of bluffing themselves. So if he had pocket fours, he would have checked the river. But those hands might consider just calling instead of just raising. So it's actually a very, 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 very under bluff spot for a bunch of different reasons. I have no idea if Senor Tilt sniffs out. I can't remember.
Sure. Maybe less likely out of position, but
gets paid.
Yeah, Senor Tilt does.
I have to mark down Senor Tilt for the river decision there. The call itself is pretty awful for a bunch of reasons, but you have to be pretty good at poker to know those reasons. So I'll still give it a 7. Like, I'm trying to be really fair to the guy, even though I evidently don't like him. Oh, how's he react, actually?
And a lot of his savings in that Queen Jack versus 10 deuce hand suddenly vanish. Head over to Alan Keating.
Handled it 10 out of 10. What are we hating on?
Frustrating.
All right. The faces afterwards, we'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Sometimes they just have it.
Pull up a lot of trips on me today.
All right, we're down to a 7. All right, 7 out of 10. Not too. I was really hoping that was going to continue. That would have been so funny.
Carrel gets here. He's going to battle with Keating like none of these other players are, apparently, thus far. And I think Keating really likes that. And maybe that'll be enough for him to want to battle.
Alan, I will battle you. I could just text him this. But Alan, I will battle you if we get on a stream together. I'll battle you like no other has. Like, well, you know, I'll play really well. But I'll go crazy. I'm a crazy player. I think I see it in my future. I see it in my crystal ball that Alan and I will have a high stakes game together.
For the full 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have a fun 6 or so hours.
You can be high. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of Diet Cokes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will leave it to you, Billy.
All right, Charlie. Fun as always. Thank you.
Who's Charlie? Are you fucking knowing who's going to be reviewing these hands in the future? Or is there another Charlie in the poker community?
Thanks to everybody in the chat. And Billy's going to take it from here.
Guys.
All right, nut flush draw against the open ender. Unlucky turn.
Wait a second. Yeah, Alan wins his spot. Nice. Had to check the title.
His buddy Senor Tilt now has the nuts.
If I could afford it, I would play with you guys more.
Well, you can afford to win, right?
And Alan's not going to want to fold to this check raise.
Should we do a toast to Norman Chad?
200. Huge raise, 5x.
Yeah, it's actually a very good sizing as well. Like, genuinely, Senor Tilt has played these hands apart from that 9s. I've seen him play some other hands like really, really bad anyway, but these hands are like genuinely pretty good. I mean, it's not the hardest thing to play straight in this spot, but I'm just saying.
160K to call for Keating. He always wants to gamble, but
Yeah, you know this is never a bluff.
Play, which is full. And there it is.
Oh, it's a board pair.
Stack or they rack up?
Rack up and take it.
They come back and
So Senor Tilt probably gets away from this one. I think I remember he does, but let's find out.
Criminal. Beyond f***ing criminal. How'd you f***ing smoked?
This is why we're here for this video, by the way.
Smoked. What the f*** are you calling with on the turn that I can beat?
Nothing.
What a joke.
Hearts. You can have
Great
hearts.
question.
Fucking joke.
You got the 10 hearts. It's tough.
Brutal. Even a diamond, I can ship it. So f***ing brutal. Joke. What a f***ing joke.
Classy as always.
Not a funny one.
No, it's a funny joke. This is a funny joke.
Guess it's your day, Alan. You and Feldman got an agreement going or something.
Oh my god, does he? I wonder if he actually means that, by the way. After hearing what he said to Mariota, that's a... Alright.
Guess it's your day.
Like, he genuinely accused Mariota of cheating on this show. I mean, that might be an overlooked accusation. You can't just throw those out. That's... He's having what Gazzy B calls a hand funeral right now. Like, he knows he's folding, but he's just mourning the situation.
The turn with diamonds, he obviously got you with a set. He boated up or made quads.
Good fold, good fold.
Well done, Senor Tilt.
Obviously, he's not the most likable fella. Perhaps it's good for the poker community to have somebody to love to hate. Well, he's obviously been studying, so he knows some things about different sizes to use in some spots. And he speaks as though he's a 10 out of 10 pro. He speaks as though he's like up there with like the greats. You know, he's up there with like Garrett Adelstein or Michael Adamo or something like that, you know, or at least he's getting close to them. If I could give this in chess terms, let's call somebody like Michael Adamo, Magnus Carlsen, or Fabiano Caruana level, you know, people like that up there. Underneath that, you might have the Garrett Adelsteins and something like that. Underneath that, you have some other people. Underneath that, you have some other people. Once you hit down like the 1000 elo on chess.com level, that's where you find the Senor Tilts of the world. And it's so hard for 1000 elo when you're comparing yourself to like a 3300 elo on chess.com person to understand how many degrees there are. If you don't know chess, 1000 elo will lose like 80% of the time to a 1300 elo, and they'll lose 80% of the time to a 1600 elo. And imagine it goes 1900, 2200, 2500. There's so many levels to this game, and when you're at somebody like Senor Tilt's level, you just don't understand how much you don't understand. And he's at that point in the Dunning-Kruger curve where it's like you get good enough that, like, I'm good enough at chess now. I'm at 2200 on chess.com. I'm good enough to know that I'm absolute trash. Senor Tilt is nowhere near at the point where he's good enough to know how trash he is. And I've seen him commentate on other hands. I've seen him speak about other people cheating. I've seen him throw out accusations like towards me, saying I'm brain dead for saying a thing that he literally doesn't understand in the slightest, and also misread the hand himself when he was trying to say that I was making no sense. You don't get a vote here. You don't get a vote on who's good and who's bad. You don't get a vote on whether a hand was played good or bad, because you're just not any good at poker. And it's just insulting to actual professional poker players, and very profitable for them, to actual professional poker players, that you decide to sit down with them and you think that you can compare. I know I'm being a little bit harsh here, but I mean, the guy is just on once in a generation egotistical rampage, and people need to tell him like straight, like, I'm saying this, this is my most honest opinion I can give. I'm going to put you down here. You're not the worst that I've seen, but you're close. Maybe you'll get significantly better at poker. But the thing about poker is you have to let it humble you. Chess humbles you whether you like it or not. Poker, you can either blame variance, and you can blame bad luck, and you can blame the deck, or you can blame the gods, or whatever it is. Or you can allow poker to humble you and ask, what could I be doing better? Am I really this good? Should I be sitting with these people? What is my bankroll management like? And all of these questions. Poker is like, you have to have like this internal processing of actually being humble. And by the way, I did a really, really fun podcast on poker with a really great guy. I'll put the link of that in the description as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll get back in the swing of things now. Let me know if you want to hear more about my life. Let me know if there's somebody else you want me to speak about and do the series on. Let me know if there's any more poker news that you want me to cover. All the best, beautiful people. I'll see you next time. Peace.